Hey everyone, welcome back to Trent's Garage. We are still working on Rustilicious, our 53 Chevy shop truck. But we're getting down to the wire, pun intended. We got an American Auto wire, part number 500-467 for wiring up this beast. So getting started, this is the fuse panel. It's the first thing I'll be installing, and then we'll step through all the rest of the harnesses. It's a little bit intimidating getting started on this, but so far so good because I haven't got very far. I have the front fenders off, outer and inner fenders, which I think will help give me a little access. And I'm going to give a little video to update you on the brakes, power steering, fuel lines, all that stuff. But here is where the fuse panel will go. Oh, you can't see it. Up in this driver's side corner, bolting up at those two hinge bolt points, which I think is a great spot. And I'm going to step through some more of this and then get back on. Okay, we've got wiring partway done, so I'll let you have a look right in the middle of this action. Got wires hanging everywhere. Got kind of hard to see. We got the main power and alternator wiring out there. We got ignition switch, headlight switch, front wiring, engine wiring. These are all different little kits. There's the fuse panel. That went in first, followed by the main power. There's some other little parts hanging around. And what's left in the box, we got the rear body kit, the fuses and flashers, courtesy lamp, instrument cluster, that one's kind of important, and then the headlight connectors. There's kind of the overall overview look. There's the tail lights. And wire in a USB power. There's the horn over there. Got to figure out something to do with that. But the harness is pretty complete. It's got a wire for everything. It's been really nice. So far, so good. Mostly understanding everything. So, drilled a 1.5 inch hole in here to run all the wires inside and out. Right below the power steering reservoir, and that looks like the best spot for me so far. So we got engine kit, headlight kit, rear headlight or rear light kit. There's some Phytech wiring that's gonna have to tie into this, and then also the Vintage Air wiring. I kind of ran that harness, so it's going to be tough to see, but and some of the wires coming through the firewall, through that grommet that's part of the vintage air system. That's been pretty slick. And then I ran from the Phytech, the little controller wire from the engine bay in through that same spot, and that looks like it'll work out well. And then I can have that controller up here in like the dash area. There's without much light, there's the main mega fuse spot, and then the batteries up here under the front part of the bed. So I'll run main power along the frame rail here over to the starter right there, and from the starter under the motor and up to the alternator right there. So that's how it's going so far, and I'll come back toward the end of this. So I'll show you the wiring coming out of the firewall here. It's the main exit point from the cab is right up there through a hole, and then I ran them kind of along the bottom of the front of the cabs, so all the power up to the engine. Looks kind of messy still, but we'll clean that up now that we know everything works. Yeah, I got some wires going to the cutouts, exhaust cutouts. I got wiring harness going back to the fuel pump, and also pass that over to the tail lights. So we got tail light wiring back there. There's the main power source of fuses anyway. There's the battery right here. So we got the main power going to that fuse box. Those are like mega fuses, 175 amp or something. And then I used the frame rail to run kind of the main ones. Pop them out right here for the starter, and then take off the starter for the main power. That goes over the trans, and then got the wiring up there. Of course, there's some wires popping out here for the front headlights and signals and horn, that kind of stuff. So the fan and all that stuff. So yeah, here's that wiring exit point from the cab, the main exit, and not the prettiest, but functional. Get some wiring going along this loom, along these power steering hoses, up to the front and down to like headlights, fan, horn, signals, that kind of thing. It's a little bit of wiring up to the distributor, a couple wires, tack and battery, and then there's some coming off of the back of the Phytech, which is controller stuff, sensor stuff, power, that kind of thing. And then I'll show you inside. There's a fuse box up in here that I think I showed earlier, but I have some pictures, and it looks terrible, all nasty and messy, but again, functional. And we'll tighten it up and clean it up a little bit. But see the bolted plate there to hold the fuse box, and then got wires running to the gauges and everything up front, AC, brakes, brake switch, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, clean that up tighter, but want to make sure it's running good.